Several years ago, we made a commitment to the community. We developed the STEAD Heart Center, committed to comprehensive cardiac services.
We began in 2008 with the vision of expanding cardiovascular care to include stroke. Now that we've achieved success as a primary stroke center, our next goal is becoming a comprehensive stroke center.
And the difference there is that there are people in our population who will come to our emergency room who need intervention.
Often these are very unstable patients who may require intubation. They may require support of their blood pressure with medications, and we would much rather keep these patients in our own hospital and our own ICU rather than have to put them in an ambulance in their very unstable condition in order to get treatment somewhere else.
To try to send a patient from this hospital to Los Angeles for care, that's 30 or 60 minutes that goes by before they can receive any intervention. And every minute that goes by, millions of brain cells are dying, so their chance of going down plummets minute by minute.
The pain and agony of not only the patient and her family watching that process, but of our medical staff, the nurses, our coordinator, and our neurologists feeling completely helpless and not be able to render support and or help to those patients was heartbreaking.
We felt it was important that as a community not-for-profit hospital, as part of our mission, that we provide these services.
And now that we have the new technology and the ability by our new interventionalists to provide this service, we can now arrest or reverse the signs and symptoms of these types of strokes.
It's sort of like a fire station or a firehouse. You never want to have to ever use their services, but they're important to us. Well, that's sort of what a comprehensive stroke center is.
We developed the stroke alert process so that when a stroke patient does come into the hospital, we have the systems in place and ready to receive the patient.
There's a big investment in technology. And there's also a big investment in making sure that you have the medical backup resources so that when a patient comes through the emergency room and has had a major stroke, that those people are available to treat that stroke.
Imaging-directed intervention has substantially advanced, particularly over the last 15 years. Now we can place catheters and using mechanical techniques actually remove the clot, the occlusion that's causing the ischemia and the stroke.
The new interventional lab is really key to offering stroke intervention because it has the imaging quality that we need to be able to perform these procedures.
And then most especially working with the EMS and the community to, one, diagnose the stroke and to get the patients to the hospital as quickly as possible.
Moreover, since we are approved stroke center, paramedics are bypassing smaller hospital and bringing patients to our emergency room, and we are able to help them. And it is very rewarding to see somebody with a major stroke coming in ambulance and walking out the hospital.
So it's key to have the resources locally. We need to be able to offer that type of care locally, and as much as the community can put back into the hospital, the more we can do for our patients here.
If we didn't have that service, many of those patients, they can die.
For a stroke patient to receive care, time is very important.
We lose nearly 2 million brain cells every minute there's a blockage, and when time is brain, every minute counts. Becoming a comprehensive stroke center is not something that occurs within just the four walls of our hospital or the institution. It's rather a community event.
Not only do we bring to bear this advanced technology, but our stroke program has a substantial outreach component to the community. We want to make people in the community aware of stroke symptoms, the so-called brain attack.
A big part of what we're investing in is education to the community.
Stroke support groups, stroke risk factor reduction classes, and staying in touch with stroke survivors up to a year after their stroke to assure that they're following the medical regime, gaining the support that they need, and then also providing care and support to the caregivers of the stroke victims.
This particular stroke program is very important. It will be the only one in the area, and there are people that need that, and it will prevent having to send them off to a more distant location to be treated.
As you can imagine, these technologies are expensive, and without community support, we will be unable to install the various equipment that we have.
It is an absolute necessity to take care of the people in this community.
Stroke is labeled as worse than death for a lot of people. So it's very important that we do something.
everybody has really come on board to champion stroke, and I think that it will really make this hospital a center of excellence for stroke care.
But we need a tremendous support from the community, because without community, nothing happens.
To have full-time interventional stroke capability, such as we now have here at Pomona Valley, is very unusual for a community medical center. These are types of procedures that are typically only provided in large academic medical centers, and even a lot of academic medical centers don't offer these types of procedures. So in order for us to continue this type of service, it's really essential that we have community support in order to fund these expensive treatments.
Any funds that are generated or developed, they stay here in the community. They don't go to some corporation in the Midwest or in the East Coast or Northern California. They stay in our community. And that's another integral part of who we are and what we are and what I think we will continue to be for the next 100 years.
I know it's going to be so helpful to everybody, and we just have to make it work. And it takes everybody in the audience to help us.